Hey everyone. Welcome to Top Tech News. This is your news channel for getting updated with the latest tech news headlines and their impact on business and our lives. To read the full news article for any of the news that we cover, simply click on its link given below in the description. To stay updated, show us some love and hit the subscribe button below and turn on notifications by clicking the bell icon. This way you would be informed whenever we upload a new video. Hi, my name is Dee and I am your host for today. Today's top headlines are: Tesla battery supplier CATL is raising $9 billion to accelerate production. Xiaomi clone machine releases tablet knockoff that literally has iPad Pro in the name. Google Pixel 6 specs, Tensor chip, 120Hz display, 4x zoom, under display fingerprint. iPhone 13, Apple Watch Series 7, AirPods 3, iPad mini 6, more coming this fall. Android 12 looks to have tweaked Pixel adaptive charging so phones reach 100% closer to alarm. Let's get started. Tesla battery supplier CATL is raising $9 billion to accelerate production. CATL, a major battery manufacturer and one of Tesla's main battery suppliers, is raising a whopping $9 billion to accelerate its production. Over a relatively short period of time, CATL has emerged as the world's largest battery cell manufacturer for electric vehicles. It supplies battery cells for Tesla vehicles produced at Gigafactory Shanghai, and it has been a big part of the successful and insanely quick production ramp to a now annualized production capacity of 450,000 electric cars per year. The China-based company is now quickly expanding globally, with several new factory projects in the works. The company has now confirmed that it is raising 58.2 billion yuan, or $9 billion, through private investments. CATL plans to use the money to accelerate its plans to increase battery cell production capacity and support the electric vehicle transition in the auto industry. The company is no stranger to large capital raise. The last one raised $3 billion, and $9 billion in a single capital raise is impressive. No matter how you slice it, most of the funds will be used to accelerate plans to deploy capacity at 3 Chinese factories. CATL plans to reach a global production capacity of 230 gigawatt-hours by the end of the year. At an average pack size of 60 kilowatt-hours, it's enough battery capacity to produce almost 4 million electric cars per year. That's just the beginning. The company has shared plans to ramp production capacity up to 1,200 gigawatt-hours by 2025, but it will need to grow a massive raw material supply chain in order to make that happen. Xiaomi clone machine releases tablet knockoff that literally has iPad Pro in the name. Apple's current iPad Pro hardware is remarkably strong, but the Xerox machine that is Xiaomi thinks it can out-iPad the iPad. Astonishingly inexpensive price aside, Xiaomi has some good ideas on how to make an iPad. The Mi Pad 5 Pro, which you can't spell without saying iPad Pro, sports an 11-inch display with 120Hz refresh rate, and Ars Technica describes the Snapdragon chip inside as relatively high-end. Xiaomi manages to pack 8 speakers inside the footprint of an iPad Pro, and the tablet even has Touch ID-style fingerprint recognition on the power button. You can't find an iPad with 8 GB RAM and Touch ID in Apple's lineup. Mi Pad 5 Pro also features an innovative system for attaching and charging a digital stylus. Xiaomi uses a novel approach that involves snapping a pen-style device magnetically to the horizontal side of the tablet. Think saw this one before? Of course on the iPad. But hey, it comes in black. Xiaomi hasn't managed to address the one concern iPad Pro power users voice the most. Despite taking the iPad Pro blueprint as the starting point, Mi Pad 5 Pro features a portrait orientation selfie cam that's poorly positioned on the left center when docked with a keyboard. We guess Mi Pad 5 Pro doesn't tackle Apple's center stage feature since it runs Android, an OS without great success in tablets, but it's a deal for less than $400. The only catch, for now, is that it's exclusive to China for now, and it's also definitely not an iPad. Google Pixel 6 specs, Tensor chip, 120Hz display, 4x zoom, under display fingerprint. Seemingly to outdo itself from 2 years ago, Google has announced the Pixel 6 and Pixel 6 Pro in an early teaser well ahead of the formal launch later this year. While Google is keeping some specifics close to its chest, we're getting a pretty good idea of what the Pixel 6 specs will bring to the table. Google Tensor chip. To kick things off, let's talk about the biggest thing these phones have in common. Under the hood, they're both using the Google Tensor chipset that was formerly known as Whitechapel. The chip is designed by Google and is rumored to be produced by Samsung. Google is not offering up much as far as performance metrics right now, but there are some hints. Speaking to The Verge, Rick Osterlo said that the CPU and GPU in Tensor should be market-leading. He further points to the chip's improvements that are specific to Google's own phones, saying, "The standard stuff people look at will be very competitive and the AI stuff will be totally differentiated." Pixel 6 specs. Google will be releasing two phones, the Pixel 6 and the Pixel 6 Pro. Starting with a smaller model, this device will offer a 6.4-inch display. That panel will be 1080p in resolution, offer a 90 Hz refresh rate, and have a perfectly flat panel of glass on top. There will also be an under-display fingerprint sensor. As far as the hardware goes, the phone will have metal rails that are coated in a matte texture similar to the Pixel 4 series. The phone will also have three colorways that include red, sand blue, green, and gray, black. Color names have not been announced. Rico Sterlo also confirmed that the battery life target is all day. When it comes to the camera situation, Google's smaller Pixel 6 will have just two rear cameras, a standard wide lens and an ultrawide. While that means zoom will not be ideal, the 50MP sensor may appear according to the latest Android 12 beta. Pixel 6 Pro specs. The Pixel 6 Pro, meanwhile, supercharges a couple of key areas. Starting with the display, the panel here is larger at 6.7 inches. It also carries a faster 120 Hz refresh rate, a higher resolution, and has curved glass along the top. The curve is described as very slight into the aluminum rails. As with the smaller model, an under-display fingerprint sensor is being used. The hardware will see the metal rails along the side polished instead of a matte texture, and the colorways are also more subdued, just like a Pixel 6. The Pixel 6 Pro will add a camera compared to the smaller device with a 4x telephoto lens. We don't know the resolution of that sensor, but we do know the main camera will be a 50MP sensor. iPhone 13, Apple Watch Series 7, AirPods 3, iPad mini 6, more coming this fall. In about a month, Apple should unveil its new iPhone models with the Apple Watch Series 7, the long-rumored AirPods 3, as well as a redesigned iPad mini. So what do we know till now? iPhone 13. We expect the same screen sizes as the iPhone 12 but with a smaller notch at the top of the display, new camera capabilities with a video version of portrait mode, a faster A15 chip, and ProMotion with a 120 Hz refresh rate for the Pro models. But the biggest feature that is being touted is that the phone would be able to communicate with LEO satellites, or those in low Earth orbit like the ones Starlink is putting. This is going to be a game changer because if you have loose and normal terrestrial connection, then in theory your iPhone 13 would link with a satellite and you would still be connected. Apple Watch Series 7 and Fitness Plus. For the Apple Watch Series 7, we expect a bit of a redesign with flatter displays and updated screen technology alongside a faster processor. It's been rumored for some months that Apple will bring a flatter design to the next watch. Apple is also readying variations of the Time to Walk feature for Apple Fitness Plus subscribers with time to run and audio meditations classes. AirPods 3. The next entry-level AirPods model will have a design closer to the AirPods Pro, including a new in-ear shape and shorter stems. This will be the most significant update to that part of Apple's AirPods line since the first model debuted in 2016. Rumors also suggest that the next entry-level AirPods won't feature ANC or transparency mode, although its new design will help isolate better the sound. iPad mini 6 and iPad 9. The new iPad mini 6 is destined to be an Apple fan favorite with its thinner borders and a complete redesign. Apart from rumors, 9 to 5 Max Chance Miller exclusively discovered that the next mini model will feature an A15 chip, USB-C connector, and a magnetic smart connector similar to the iPad Air and iPad Pro, our sources say. What about the next MacBook Pro? Although the next MacBook Pro is not expected to be unveiled during the September event, it's expected that the revamped 14-inch and 16-inch MacBook Pros with M1X chip should still go on sale by the time the current MacBook Pro hits its 2-year anniversary. Reliable Apple analyst Ming-Chi Kuo also mentioned about the mini LED technology that should be available in the upcoming MacBook Pros. Android 12 looks to have tweaked Pixel adaptive charging so phones reach 100% closer to alarm. With the December 2020 feature drop, Google made it so that your Pixel phone charges slowly at night to preserve battery health. Pixel users have had hit-or-miss experiences with adaptive charging, and Google now looks to have tweaked how it works on Android 12. On Android 11, this overnight adaptive capability fast charges your Pixel to 80% and then slows down, thus preserving the health of the battery. However, for some, the slower speed still gets their phone to 100% several hours before they wake up at the set alarm time. It's clear that Google is being extremely cautious with this smart feature to avoid users waking up to a phone that isn't fully charged. That would undoubtedly be a bad experience and comes as Google already limits adaptive charging to the Pixel 4 and newer while telling users that they must plug in after 9 p.m. and have an alarm between 5 and 10 a.m. With Android 12, Pixel owners are noticing that the after 80% charging is occurring much slower. There are reports of how devices are now reaching full charge 30 to 90 minutes before morning alarms go off. This is hours later than the current behavior. While noticed with Beta 4, the change might have been implemented earlier in the preview. Adaptive charging is now 8 months old, and Google likely has garnered enough real-world usage data and end-user feedback to fine-tune the capability with a focus on preserving even more battery health. Well, that's about it for today. Hope you found it helpful. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications by clicking the bell icon. And do show us some love by clicking on the thumbs up button. Have a wonderful day everyone, and we will be back again soon.